Okay, today we are going to start doing some tractor work. My little Yanmar here has got a 3-point hitch, very handy, but if you've ever used one of these things, you know it's really a pain to get stuff on and off of a 3-point hitch, especially by yourself. So today we're going to do something about that. Hopefully that's the last time I have to do it the hard way. We're going to make this much easier. So yeah, the standard 3-point hitch, while convenient, it's it's kind of a pain. It's not too hard getting things off, but lining things up to get things on. And this is a fairly light implement. This little York rake here, I can move it around as needed. If you're doing anything heavy, like I have a big snowblower I use in the winter, that you can't just push around. So I've been wanting to get something that will make this job much easier. So I've read about these online and heard good things about them, so I decided I'd give it a try. This is a product called Pat's Easy Change System. And what it is, it's a quick release for the 3-point hitch. Show you what we got here. So, large cast iron piece. It actually slides onto the arms of the 3-point hitch. Pin goes through just like the pins on the implement would go. All right, here you can see how it works. There's a little safety latch here that you pull back, and then this can lift, and that's what allows you to, in fact, I think, yeah, you can put it like that and keep it open so you can get both of them unlatched, get back on the tractor, lower the implement, and drive right out. And I'm not sure, yeah, and also that will keep it from trying to lift out while you're using it. So as long as you've got it back, it can push down and snap in, and locked in place, it should work. So let's take a look at what it takes to install this. Well, it looks like installation of this is pretty simple. It comes with 4 bolts with lock nuts that you thread into the sides. That's to lock it in side to side. Of course, there's the large pin that goes in right through where the 3-point hitch would go. It slides over. Pin goes in. Now, actually, one thing I do want to note is notice how there's the large hole on one end of the pin. It can go in either direction, but what you want is you want that pointing to the inside. One other thing that they sell, optional thing that they sell that I didn't get, is they have an adjustable spreader bar, so you can set the width exactly to what you need to hook up to your 3-point implement, and that way it holds it, because normally you're going to set your turnbuckles to the width so that it's snug when it's all the way out, and this just keeps them spread out because obviously they can come in on their own, and then you won't be able to just back up and hook on. I only have 3 implements and they're all the same width, so I'm just going to find something that I can bend up that's a standard width to meet all of my implements, rather than buying their adjustable. Their unit's got a set screw on it or a knob on it, so you can loosen it and send it to any width. So I'm not bothering with that, but that's what this hole is for. So this just slides onto the arm, and if you can manage to line it up, I'm a little clumsy, so it takes me a second. I did this when I didn't have the camera running, and it went right on, of course. There it goes. So that hooks into place, and then what you've got is two different shims of different thicknesses that they claim, basically they've got, this will fit any tractor just by using the right shim. So for different width of arms, you use different shims. So they say it should be parallel with the shim. So this is the larger shim. That looks about right. Just for comparison, I'm going to put the thin shim in. And yeah, I definitely want the thicker one. So in order to keep this in place, there's a small hole and there's a roll pin that you hammer into that, and then there's just a hole that locates that in the cast piece itself. So I'm gonna drive that pin in. I'm gonna tighten these down. I think we're basically done. It's just that easy. So the roll pin just allows it to set into, there's a hole in here, plenty of slop, but basically that just keeps it from sliding out, because once it's clamped down, it's not going to go anywhere. All right, so the little spacer goes in. It slides over the arm. Pin goes in. And there is a cotter pin that locks that in place. And now this, I didn't show this earlier, I probably should have. So there's a big U-bolt that goes over the top here, and that's going to lock it down so that it keeps it from rotating. And there's washers, and there's a double nut for the bottom of that, so that it can lock itself together. All right, so for these adjustment bolts, what you want is you want to get it set to the appropriate width for what your implement is, and make sure that they are parallel to each other, which for my tractor, I know that means it's going to be parallel with this bend on the end. Depending on your tractor and the width of what you're doing, that may be different. So basically, it's pretty easy to adjust, it looks like, if you need to change it later. But for now, I'm just going to line it up parallel to that, and we'll see how it works. And of course, you want to make sure it's not crooked side to side, so it's straight up and down with the arm. All right, I think that's a good starting point. I'm going to tighten up my U-bolt and do the other one, and we'll see how it works. Well, I think I've got everything ready to go. I haven't tightened the jam nuts on everything yet, because I want to actually try to hook it on and see if I need to make any fine-tuning adjustments. To set the width, as I mentioned, they've got an adjustable spreader bar that you can buy from them. But what I decided, since everything's the same width that I'm hooking onto, I just cut a piece of plywood that I can jam in between. If I do that, it holds it at the right width. I can hook on and pull the plywood out quick and easy. We'll see how that works. If not, maybe I'll buy their adjustment thing, but like I said, I don't see the need for it. So let's see if we can hook onto this. Make sure the safety latches are released. Oh, that works really nice. Well, I think that's going to work out pretty well for me. Hooks on pretty easy. The hardest part is getting the tractor square to it, but something light like this, I can kind of push it back and it'll line itself up. I don't back up straight for some reason. In order to hold it on, they give you some of these it's basically just a washer with a bend in it and an extra little notch that can go in, and then your locking pin holds that in place. So then you should be able to, as long as you can line it up close enough that you're between the inside of the pin and that washer, it'll hook right on. Or I may just take them off just because it gives me a little more leeway when I'm hooking on. Now, one thing to watch out for with this is it does extend out the length of your arms. How far is that? Let's get the tape measure. It looks like it is about 3.5 inches longer than just having it hooked directly to the lifting arms. So you are going to lose a little bit of lifting capacity. Not enough for me. It's not enough to matter. None of the stuff I'm lifting is that heavy, so I'll still have plenty of. The tractor will still be able to lift stuff. The one thing I do need to watch out for is I need to check. I've got a rotary mower, a bush hog type mower, and a snow blower. I need to make sure the PTO shafts on those are long enough to reach. I have a feeling they may not be, so I may need to get a small. They make little stub extensions that you can put onto the tractor that'll lengthen that shaft a little bit. But other than that, I think this is going to be so nice. Whenever I hook on one implement, I try to do as much with that as I can, just because I hate switching between, especially things like the mower. Switching between this and the mower, it's that mower is heavy, and getting it lined up and hooked on there is not that bad, but I'm lazy. I don't want to have to do too much of it. Now, of course, you still have to hook up your top link yourself, but once you got the lower links in, that goes pretty easy, so that's not too bad. And obviously, I got to extend this out. It would have been laying level before with the longer shafts. I'm gonna have to unscrew this a little bit. But I think that's going to work. So that's all I have for this week. If you like what you see, I definitely appreciate you subscribing. Hit the thumbs up button and all that. And hopefully I'll see you in another couple of weeks with another video.